It appears that despite the Trump win, along with losing the Senate, possibly the House of Representatives, and of course, the Supreme Court, all gone. Um, Progressive policies, however, in the states, when it comes to ballot measures, did very well. For example, sick leave measures in Missouri and Nebraska passed by incredibly comfortable margins on Tuesday, while one in Alaska appears likely to pass with about 70% of the votes counted by early Wednesday morning. Under the new laws, workers can accrue an hour of paid sick time for every 30 hours they work, capped at 56 hours per year at large employers and 40 at small ones. Well, there you go. If the Alaska vote goes well, you're going to have 18 states now with paid sick leave requirements on the books. And that's not all in Missouri. Not only do they have paid sick leave, but also they raised their minimum wage to $15 an hour and blocked an increase in funding for police. In the same state that went to Donald Trump in the general election and reelected Josh Hawley. So try to figure that one out. Okay. Now, look, what's going on in some of these states with these ballot measures could end up leading to sick leave campaigns elsewhere, including in other states that lean Republican, which would be an overall good thing for workers. Now, Jared Mock, vice president of the nonprofit advocacy group A Better Balance, told HuffPost back in September, I do expect once we see the outcome of these elections that there will be more interest in other states. Good. Good. And I wait for that to happen because we're not going to see this happen at the federal level. Okay, the federal government, gone. Okay, under massive conservative control. Okay, not really a whole lot we can do there. There's too much money. There's too much corruption. There's too much lobbying going on, right? But in the states where you can have these ballot measures, they're a lot more successful. Okay, that especially that we've seen on like things like abortion rights and on things like raising wages. Okay, so now that said, around 1 in 5 U.S. workers currently do not have access to paid sick leave. Okay, and they are more likely to work in the lowest paying jobs, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So, yes, these laws are going to help people that need it most in places where Republicans never would pass it. They're not interested in helping workers. Richard Von Glahn, a spokesperson for Missourians for Healthy Families and Fair Wages, the group leading the Missouri campaign, previously told HuffPost that the sick leave legislation had gone nowhere in the state for years under Republican rule. Shocker. Quote, our legislation just turns a blind eye to the bills that are really about people's day-to-day struggles and what they need. That's why we've had to turn to the ballot initiative process. So getting around those corrupt members of Congress that are paid off by these special interests and going right to the voters. And so here's the thing, though, right? You see these progressive ballot measures win all over the country, right? But that does not translate into votes for Democrats. And that's what's interesting. And not only that, but you have these same voters who will vote for these things and be like, yeah, of course I want to raise the wage. Yeah, of course I want paid sick leave, right? They end up voting for Republicans. They support pro-worker policies because they're workers, which makes sense, right? But their politicians never support them back. They spit in their faces. Now, I'm not saying the Democratic Party is great, because you know what? They also decided not to run on these things. And the only mention here of paid sick leave was from vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, who's like, yeah, my first priority is to try to push for paid sick leave on a national level, right? But that's something that the campaign didn't talk about at all, didn't focus on at all. It was basically left out while Kamala Harris was going around, palling around with Liz Cheney and talking about how Donald Trump is, horrible for democracy, which I agree, he is, but that's not going to win you a campaign, okay? Now, the Alaska and Missouri ballot measures, as I mentioned, also included raising the minimum wage. Missouri's wage floor is currently $12.30, and Alaska's is $11.73. Okay, so yeah, we're definitely going to see an increase in people's wages, and they absolutely need it. Okay, yes, inflation has been crushing people, and so of course it's going to make people more receptive to, hey, why don't we raise the minimum wage? Okay, now that said, it's not the only good news that we've had here. No, it turns out ballot measures protecting the right to choose, okay, to, abort a pregnancy, or if you need to have an abortion for medical reasons, 7 out of 10 states that had a ballot measure on the ballot did choose to protect those rights. So they chose freedom. Arizona, Colorado, Maryland, Missouri, Montana, Nevada, and New York all passed constitutional amendments codifying the right to an abortion. The only places that it didn't pass were in the states that like Florida, Nebraska, and South Dakota. So now Florida's an interesting case study because it actually did get a majority of the electorate, but the rules for the ballot measures in that state mean you have to get basically a supermajority, almost 2/3, okay, 60% vote threshold, and they didn't quite make it. So that's very interesting. And again, 7 out of 10 states voted to protect women's rights, including states that Donald Trump won decisively in this election. So, and where Republican congressmen were reelected. And in some states, of course, you had Trump win, but a senator or a House member of the other party, of the Democrats, got elected. So a lot of split ticket voting that happened. Okay. So what you're getting here is when it comes to policy, you've got pro-worker, pro-women policies getting passed by the voters without Republican control. And those same voters will then go on to vote for Donald Trump. So that tells me that the economy was really, really big on people's minds, and people trust Donald Trump more on the economy. I don't know why, but Kamala Harris, not trusted because she didn't break with Joe Biden. And so there you go. Now, at the end of the day, progressive pro-worker policies tend to win, which means, again, if you stand for raising the minimum wage, okay, if you stand for paid sick leave, if you stand by the workers, then the workers are going to stand by you, okay? So if the Democrats want to win elections again, all right, they need to become a more pro-worker, pro-labor party, which means breaking with the elites, breaking with the consultants, and breaking with the big donors, and pushing progressive policy again on the national stage, which was missing in this election. And now you see the result. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.